Bible says in verse 58, and he did only a few miracles there because their unbelief. And I said to God, how is it that he can go all around the country and come back home, but he struggles to heal? Hold on, this is Jesus. Like, Jesus, I didn't even know you needed people's permission to heal them. I thought you could just roll up and go bam and they're healed. But no, Jesus is saying, you have to understand something about healing and deliverance. I cannot heal anything or deliver anything that you do not want healed or delivered. I cannot change anything that you don't want to be changed. I cannot turn an atmosphere if you don't want that atmosphere to be changed. You can come here every Sunday, come to the altar and be delivered, and come to the altar and be changed, and still go back home to pornography. It's you that holds the key to the gates of your spirit, of your mind, of your flesh. And Jesus can, yes, he can allow pastors to pray and things change and things shift. But until you change your mindset, you will find that the atmosphere that you're used to is comfortable rather than a place that you dislike. And here's the craziest thing. You can dislike an atmosphere but feel like you have to live with it. You can live in an atmosphere and feel like this atmosphere pulls me down, it tears me down, it makes me struggle, it hurts, it's painful, but you handcuff yourself to this atmosphere because it feels like it's the only thing that loves you back. So here, Jesus is, he comes back home, goes to the synagogue, he's speaking and he's teaching, and they know it sounds good, it's some good stuff. Some good stuff. It sounds good. It's some real good stuff. But they don't want to believe it. They don't want to take it on board. They don't want to own it in their hearts. So they start looking at him sideways and start telling him about his past. And I said, God, this is good. This is great. But break it down to me now where I'm able to minister to your people. And he said, son, until they make an atmosphere that's at least conducive for God to do something, they're going to forever stay in the atmosphere that they're in and be comfortable in the atmosphere that they're in. No matter how many times they say they want change, until they start applying something that says, I want change, it will not happen. If this place was in darkness, I'm not going to switch off the lights because you remember what happened last week when I switched off the lights didn't come back on. But if the place is in darkness, if your house was in darkness, and you wanted to go to the kitchen, and you know your house is pitch black at night, but you want to go to the kitchen, what's the very first thing you try and do? Some people was like, I'm going to just search around and see until I'm done. Those are the people that keep on falling and tripping and hurting themselves. But for those of you who are like, I'm sick and tired of bucking my small toe, I know there's some things in this room that I left last night and I can't remember where I misplaced them. So God, I'm looking first for the light, and I'm switching on the light, and when I switch on the light, everything else will work for my good because I can now see what's in front of me. Here's the issue that we face is that before we look for the light, the first thing we want to do is, let me try and do it myself because I know my house, I know my situation, I know there's some dead things over here. I know there's some skeletons over here, but I know how to step over them. I know how not to deal with them, but step over them and continually. You ever been in a place where you are okay with your own mess?
Oh
yeah. No, I mean real. Like for you, you're fine with your own mess. But as soon as someone said, yo, I'm around the corner, I'm like, oh, yo, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait, I just need to go in the shower. You start making up things because you know you need to clean up the house. And you say, I don't even feel that well. Maybe you should go without me. Wait, no, I'm just around the corner. Literally, you start trying to gather things and put things in place. You try and change the atmosphere that you're in because you don't want to be exposed. You didn't care about the environment you was in. You just can't have someone else see you in the environment that you're in. And that's what what the issue is. We don't mind looking a certain way. We don't mind having a certain environment. But when company comes around, turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, when company comes around, that's when everybody wants to change their environment. Everybody wants to change their environment. You've been telling people, yeah, you've been wearing good, nice clothes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you've been looking fresh, but your house don't look fresh. So now you're thinking, uh-oh, I've been looking fresh when I step out my environment. But really, if they step in my environment, they'll look at me crazy because they'll see that the things that I've been living in don't portray the things that I've been showing when I step out of my environment. So watch this. These people are in a place where Jesus comes. He's like, I want to heal, I want to do some stuff. He gets back home. He sees how jacked up home is. But here's the issue. Some people are like, he preached good. He's speaking good. And he has power. How I know he has power is because they say, where does he get this power from? So it means that they can see it on him, but they just don't want to accept it. So what people normally try and do is, whenever you're living at a certain standard, they don't try and meet you at that standard. They try and pull you back down to the standard that they're comfortable with you being on. Watch this. It doesn't necessarily have to be the environment or the standard that they're on. As long as it's an environment that I can judge you on, then that feels all right with me. As long as you're still sleeping with someone on the side, I don't mind you being in the environment, because that environment, whenever I'm ready and I need to pull something out of my pocket, I can be anywhere and be like, well, but you're still doing so-and-so. But the moment they have nothing on you, the moment you clean some things up, isn't it like that when you give your life to Christ? People want to turn around and be like, yeah, let's see how long this lasts for. Let's see how long they'll serve you for. Let's see how long they'll love this Jesus. And let's see how long they'll proclaim this Jesus. It's almost like Kanye West. It's like, let's see how long that he'll do this gospel thing for. Let's see his sales go up and let's see him turn from Christ. And my thing is, if you keep on being in an environment that keeps on pulling you down, or that's an environment that is hidden, and when you go back into it, you're dealing with the mess, you're dealing with the things you trip up on, you're still dealing with certain things, rather than say, you know what, today is the day I clean up my environment. I start throwing the things that are rubbish in the and clean out the closet of some clothes that I used to wear back in the past that I know I can't fit in now. Some of you still got some items. It's got holes in it. It smells musty. No matter how many times you wash it, it still has that smell. But because it's your favorite t-shirt. Because I remember some great memories when I got it. But all it does is when it stacks up, it creates clutter, mess, and an environment that starts closing you in and making you feel claustrophobic. So watch this. So as I said, I was speaking to God, and I said to God, okay, so this message shows me that our environment, we can shift some stuff and we can change some stuff, and sometimes God is waiting for us to shift and change some stuff before he comes in. So you was expecting God to do everything himself. You was expecting God to change everything himself. But God is saying, let me see you put your hand to some work. Let me see what you really want outside. Let me see what you really want outside in the bins. Let me see what you really want to get rid of. Because, can I tell you what it really looks like? We expect God to be this character that comes in, looks in our house and says, okay, yeah, you just go on, I'll just clean this. Nicole said Mary Poppins. But God is more like the person that's saying, I'm going to be the dustbin man. And I'm going to make my rounds. And when I get to your house, I want to see everything that you have put outside your house. I'll take up every mess, every junk, every rubbish, and I'll move it for you. But I cannot come in and move it for you if you don't want it to be moved. Because the first thing you have to show God is, God, I want this out of me.
We have free choice.
Mommy said you have a choice. And here's the thing, we always like to live this life like we don't have any choices. So, Josh, get that thing for me, please. Get me a smaller table. Here's the thing, and I said this, don't worry. Oh, thank you, G. I said this to God, and I was like, God, there's seasons in my life where I felt like I believed you and I wanted to believe you, and I felt like you just didn't do it. I just felt like, God, as much as you said you was going to do certain things, as much as you said, thank you, you can move that in the middle and you can move this away. As much as you said you was going to do all the things that you was going to do, God, what's hurting me and what's emotional and what annoys me is that I'm meant to believe you for all these things, but they're not happening. And God said to me, son, could it be because you don't trust me? And I said, God, I trust you. What do you mean? I do trust you. I do believe in you. And God says, son, could it be that you don't trust me? The environment that you have created is an environment you shout, you praise, but it has no direction. What do I mean it has no direction? I'm shouting, I'm praising for no reason, because I don't actually believe that God is actually going to do it for me. So many times we come to church, we lift our hands and we say we're creating an environment when what we're really doing is being mannequins. We're just throwing up our hands, looking the part, so we don't look like we're not worshiping, and everybody looks at us like, that person didn't worship this Sunday. And so we just fit in and we're like, hallelujah, Jesus. And then some of us, we try and get deeper. And we try to speak in tongues just so we can fit in when we really don't believe. We have an environment that looks good to everybody. We create this false environment. So when God really wants to come down and heal us and do some great things in us, he comes down and is like, you ain't creating no environment. Because all your bucking and your praise breaking and all your shouting, your house still looks a mess. You haven't taken nothing out of it and put anything on the curb saying, God, here's the things inside my house. Take it out, demolish it, do with it what you like, do with it what you want. God, as for me and my house, will serve you. We'll kick out everything that's not like you. But some of us were saying it and it looks good, Monique. But I'm sad to say, we don't believe it. We don't believe it. And I'm going to show you something. The new iPhone came out, and I was excited. The new iPhone came out, told me all this stuff it can do. And I was excited, and I got happy, and I was glad, and I was really amazed. And I was like, yeah, God, you're going to do it, God. You're going to do some great things. And then what's this? When it came out, they told me, the people who created it told me that this is what it does, this is what it stops doing, this is what, plug that phone out for me, Monique, this is what you can expect it to do and what you can expect it not to do. And I said, that sounds good. That sounds great. Now, here's the funny thing. Even though they tell me all of this stuff, it's down for me to believe. Does everybody get me? Yeah. Everybody already sees where this is going. You don't have to cringe for me. It's okay. Now, here's the thing. The Creator has said, this phone is waterproof. The Creator said, this phone is water resistant. Up to a point. Watch all the doubt. See, but this is good. Watch me. Let me show you something. Because as soon as I said that, watch out. No, wait, be careful now. Because listen, they didn't really say it's waterproof. They say it's kind of waterproof, but it's not really waterproof. I don't know. And they say all these things, and That's what we do as Christians. You say you can heal me, but wait. Will you fully heal me, or will you kind of heal me, or will you heal me like I can walk, but I have to walk with a limp? Will you fully help me come out of this sinful situation, but in 6 weeks' time, I still have to go back to it every now and again? Or will you fully do what you said you can do? And you can be like the woman with the issue of blood. And then I was going through for 12 years, and everything was going, and everything was a problem. And then this is what she said, listen, I can't stand it anymore. I have to trust you.
Okay.
I have
3 seconds.
to trust you. Watch this. Watch this. I have to trust you. Everyone's fear is he just threw his phone in a bucket of wood. He's still talking. And they said, listen, I hope his phone turns back on, because if it don't, he's going to look silly. But how about if this phone is our faith? How about if this phone is our faith? Now people are like, I need to get myself an iPhone, because the iPhone really can go in water and turn back on. This is what our faith looks like. We only trust God to a certain degree, because God, it values too much. God, I paid too much. And this is what he's saying. I died for you. What do you think that cost? How much did you think that cost? But you can't believe in me, to trust me, to do what was crazy. In the season that I need a breakthrough, in the season that I need you to open up some doors for me, God said, can you afford to make yourself look crazy and make every person that's around you doubt? Because everybody in here wasn't a believer that it was going to come back out and turn on. Some people thought, yeah, that's it, it's finished. And now some people even now are like, I want it to turn back on again. And this is where we start praying as Christians. Father, in the name of Jesus. So watch this. Turn on by itself. Now watch this. Watch this. You don't see, it's coming out down in people. But watch this. Watch this. Why do I show you this? How many times has God showed you who you are and who he has created you to be, and you have not believed him for what you are and who you are? And you say, yeah, God, I believe, I shout, I praise. And when God says, let me see your faith, you say, Jesus, no, Lord. Yeah, I believe you up to a point. Because, Lord, I trust you in certain things. But this thing right here, I'm not sure. Because, God, what happens if I come out and I don't shine? What happens if I come out worse than when I went in? And God says, do you believe in me? Do you trust in me? Yes, you will look silly for that 60 seconds that it probably was in that waterfall. You will look silly. You will look crazy. But God said, for everybody who looked at you as a doubter, for that season of 60 seconds, are now looking at you as someone that still functions, that still works, that everything they spoke out against you and they said it wouldn't work and it would never come to fruition and your business wouldn't thrive and it wouldn't be good and it wouldn't turn around for your good. Now you can turn to them and say, look at me now. And I know that message sounds good and it sounds great. But some of us are still in this position where they're saying, but God, say if it don't turn back on. Marcus, I'm finished. But God, say if this environment is not what it says it is. God says he's done with you being in a place where you shout and you praise, but you don't believe. I told you, you are the head and not the tail. I told you that my plans are good and not evil. They're to prosper you, to bring you to an expected end. I told you all these great things, that you are my child, and I have nothing but good things and thoughts towards you. But could it be that you don't believe what God has written on the tin? Could it be that I'm not living the way I should live because, God, I don't believe this environment that I'm in? My message simply to you today is, don't allow Jesus to come back into your life and you don't believe. The Bible says he could only do a few miracles. And I believe those few miracles was for those people who they didn't care. They threw it all in. They just said, God, listen, if I don't do this, I'm going to die. But some of us, we're not at that point of death yet. So we don't go all in. We're like, no. I just in case it don't work, I still got a backup plan. And God is saying, I'm sick and tired of your backup plan. What you don't understand is your backup plan is just a plan that says, I don't trust God. That's what the backup plan is. If you have a backup plan that involves God, what you're basically saying is, God, I don't trust you. If you have a backup plan that says, just in case it doesn't work, what you're saying is, God, you are not God enough to save me out of this. God, you are not God enough to keep me from this. God, you are not God enough. So no matter how much I shout, I spin, if in my heart of hearts, I can't throw it all in, it means nothing. Because at the end of the day, God is simply saying, it's either all in or stay in that environment that you've created. Everybody stand, we're about to go home. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Josh. Today, God is saying, let's go all in. Let's go all in. Why can we go all in? Because God, you've never failed. I've looked at your track record and you have never failed. But wait, no, but so-and-so didn't make it. So-and-so, yeah, could it be that so-and-so really didn't believe? Could it be that some people, that God was really trying to get them to that point of belief? They looked good standing up here and saying they believed, and then later on it didn't work out for them. Well, maybe God can't do it. No, maybe it's because they stood before you and they said they believed that they didn't believe. Can I be real with you? Can I be honest with you? There's some things I'm believing for God right now. You will probably never guess or probably ever notice until I have a one-to-one conversation with you. But watch this. I'm not going to allow those things that I believe God for just because I don't see it now for me to be like, well, God, you cannot do it then. Well, God, you probably won't be able to do it. Then probably, God, you can't open up doors. I believe in the word that he said. I believe in the word that he has spoken. And here's what the issue is. We doubt the word that God has spoken over our life, which leaves us in an environment of unbelief. Again, Jesus couldn't do, or he could only do a few miracles.